Okay, now we're going to be looking at some coordinate reasoning problems which come towards the end of the week in the work that we've given you. And basically, you have to work out the missing coordinates for a shape that's been drawn on an unlabeled coordinate grid. So unlike the other coordinate grids, you can see on your X and Y axis, there are no numbers. So you need to use the information that you are given about the corners of the shapes that are on these grids and work out the missing numbers. So one of the things you can do is that, so for example, I can see at this point of the rectangle here is at the coordinate -4, 7. So it's telling me the X coordinate is -4 and the Y coordinate is 7. So any point that is underneath that, directly underneath that, must also be the same. So if I have get our pen over here, so if this point is -4 on the X axis, it means this point is -4. Which means any point on this line is also -4. So it tells us that that missing X coordinate is -4. Now, similarly, anything that is intersecting this line, this point on the coordinate grid, must also be the same. So if this over here, if we have a look, so this is our X coordinate and that's our Y. So it's telling me the Y coordinate is -5, which means anything on this line is also -5. So therefore, the missing coordinate there is -5. So let's see if you can work out what those two coordinates up there are. Okay, so look at the coordinates that you've been given and see if you can work it out. Okay, so hopefully you saw that this coordinate down here is 11. Yeah, the X coordinate is 11, which means right here is 11. So anything on this line is also going to be 11. So let's check that now. Perfect. And let's see about our Y coordinate. So here we are told, because this is our Y, anything that intersects this point, which our coordinate does, is going to have the same Y coordinate. And we're told that this over here is -4, 7. So it's the 7 we're going to be looking at. So it means this point is 7. And which means our missing number over here must also be 7. So there you go. We have actually worked out the two missing coordinates. So quite straightforward, particularly when they're squares and rectangles parallel to the grid. It can help us solve those missing number problems there. So let's have a look at a slightly trickier one. So here we have two identical parallelograms on a unlabeled grid. And we need to work out these A, B, and C points, work out the coordinates for them. So we can do that because they're identical. It means that the lengths and the heights of the parallelogram, are exactly the same. So whatever the length of this side is also the length of that, and it's also the same length there. And also the height that we get here is also the height, same there, there, and there. So we can use that to help us work it out. So if we start with point A, first of all, so we need to work out what our X and our Y coordinate are for this point A, right here on the parallelogram. So first of all, I notice that this A is on the same line as this point, which is -1, 1. Okay. Now the -1 is the X coordinate and the 1 is the Y. So it is sitting on the same Y point. So if I get our pen out here, so this number on the Y coordinate must be 1. Yep, because we know this one down here is -1, the X. So this is +1. So which means our coordinate here, our Y coordinate, must also be 1. So I'm just going to put that in 1. So now we need to figure out how we can work out our X coordinate. Well, I need to basically know how long this parallelogram is. Because if it starts at -1, we can put -1 down here. So this point starts at -1 and ends over here. Now, if I look further up my shape, I can see that over here, it starts at -6 and it ends at 3. So I can actually work out how long my parallelogram is with a jump. So how do I get from -6 to 3? Well, that is a jump of 9. So I know now that my parallelogram is 9 long. Okay, so now if I go back to this point, so if this point was -1, if I add that jump of 9, that gets me to 8. So let's just double check that over here. Perfect. So 8, 1. That A coordinate is 8, 1, because I used the fact that it was 9 long above there. I could work that out. So now let's have a look if we can work out B and C. So in order to work out B, we're now looking at a different part of our shape. Okay. So, but some of you might notice that it is directly underneath this point. And we know that that is -6. So we know that anything that passes through this kind of invisible line is also -6. So already we can jump and know that that coordinate must be -6. So -6 must be there. And then in order for us to work out the y, to work out how far down the y axis it's gone, we can see that our parallelogram starts at 4 up here, and it goes down to 1. So my y coordinate has gone from 4 to 1. That means that it is 3 high. Yep, so from here to here is 3, because we've gone from, let's change the color so you can see that clearly. We've gone from 4 to 1, making 3. So now if I go from 1 and I take away that 3, so I'm at 1 on my axis, and I'm going to take away 3 to get down to this point. So remember, number line again, so it's 1, take away 3. If we take away 1, that will get us to 0. That leaves 2 more to take away. So this point must be -2. Yep, so anything on this line is going to be -2. So our coordinate here, let's check if we're right, for B is -6, -2. There we have it. Yep, because we used the fact that we could work out how high our parallelogram is, and it's the same for down here as well. So now lastly, let's have a look at C. And we can see again, we've got lots of information that will help us now. This is -2, like we've just said. So if I was to think about my y coordinate, I already know that that is going to be -2 because it goes through that point. And now if I think about x, well, it's actually directly under that point, and we already know that is 3, which means if I go down, this is also going to be 3. So that last point is going to be 3 -2. And I can just double check if that all makes sense, because I've got -6 over here, and I've got 3 over here, just like I had -6 over there and 3 over there, because it's a change of 9 on my x-axis. Yep, and you can have a, and even when we look here, it works the same. Yep, we had a change from -1 to -6, which was a change of -5, and then we got going from 8 to 3, which is also a change of 5. So that is definitely all correct there. Right, so hopefully that will help you solve some of the problems that we have given you towards the end of the week. It's just always remember to have a look at the lengths of the shapes that you're given, track it back to the x coordinate, make any annotations if you need to. I know it's a bit hard because we're doing this. You might be looking at just your phone or screen, but make some notes on a bit of paper and you'll be able to work out what those missing coordinates are. Hopefully that's been useful for you guys, and hope to see you soon. Stay safe. Mrs. Anya saying bye.